What's up, everybody? Welcome to Versus. I am John Maher. That is Will Cohen. We are in great spirits because every week that we do this show lately, there's one less Louisa Warren movie to watch. Will, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. You caught me in a weird Back to the Future mood here today, and it's very fitting that I'm wearing a Back to the Future, T-shirt here today, because we're going back to the past because Louisa Warren wants us to go back to the past, and it's also really weird because this is an alternate version of the last fucking movie we just watched.
Yeah, it's depending on where you find this movie. I knew it as Pagan Warrior. YouTube knows it as Pagan Warrior. Tubi knows it as Vikings versus Krampus. But for the sake of argument, we're going to call it Pagan Warrior.
We call thee to be present.
What if we do not survive the night?
Have no fear. While there is a breath left in me, no harm will come to you.
It's a human-like creature.
A demon.
Flesh-eating demon. I am not afraid of you.
I must go. You beast!
I'm going to say one thing. Yeah, that music, though basic, for that movie, too good for that movie. That music kind of slapped. I would say that music was kind of nice.
Yeah, it's always nice, when someone decides to spice up like plain vanilla yogurt. But bravo for trying.
Let's set the scene. Okay, so in the last movie, which was the Scarecrow's Revenge, even though the title has nothing to do with Vikings, it is the Scarecrow mythos in the Viking lands, and the Scarecrow has been sent from a witch. It's a Viking that has been cast out, goes to a witch to get revenge on the Vikings. In this one, little more history involved because it is a Saxon kingdom, and the Vikings invade. They leave the Saxon king and queen for dead, and the Saxon king goes and witches help him by summoning. Who's our special guest, Will? That doesn't belong in this film.
Krampus.
Yes, the Eastern European Krampus comes to Western Europe in this movie to help the Saxons regain their lands from the Vikings. Historians are committing suicide hearing people talk about this movie. I should also note that this movie actually has two directors. Louisa Warren is one of the directors, and she's enlisted the help of a man named Nick Minaj, not to be confused with Nicki Minaj. Nick Minaj, his only directing credit is helping Louisa Warren with this movie.
I want, because we're talking about Krampus and inevitably we're going to talk about Christmas, I want to give the distributor, I want to give IT and distribution and the producers of this film a little present. I want to give you a little lesson. Here's a word that you clearly do not know. So I want to enlighten you. The word is no. This is a word that you can use to Louisa Warren whenever she pitches a movie. Just tell her no. This is the one word that you clearly have never told Louisa Warren. Because really, what was the pitch meeting like on this film? Where
the pitch meeting was like, remember that movie we just did with the Scarecrow? Let's take the Scarecrow out and put in Krampus.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, like, it wasn't that long after, like maybe 2 years tops. Because wasn't Scarecrow's Revenge in 2020 or 2021?
This was 2019. And
2019.
Let's see which one came first. I have, they're back to back. They're both 2019.
They're both 2019.
And
So,
Pagan Warrior are back to back films.
So it's like, okay, let me get this straight. You're pitching literally the same movie, but different. Because let's think about this. It's also Vikings.
They were like, hey, we the first movie took us 3 days to shoot, but we got these costume rentals for a whole week. Let's do another one.
I guess, but it's like, yeah, they literally just like ran the same movie back. Vikings, witches, rape, it's all there.
Yeah, it is all there. Yeah, and let's give Louisa and crew a little bit of credit. In both movies, the rape is just threatened. It never happens. There's no rape comes to conclusion. It's always just a threat of rape throughout all the movies. Threat of rape.
Your daughter is mine. I will take her in your bed.
But even so, like you can tell how milquetoast this movie was, because you remember when we did last week's episode of Scarecrow's Revenge, where I was just fuming mad at like how they just allowed the rapist to, or threatened rapist, whatever, to essentially become like an unstoppable killing machine. This time, I just didn't care.
I will make her like it.
Yeah. Let's just go through like my problems with the movie. So the cold open, there's a kid, and he has a ball. The ball is like the shittiest ball I've ever seen. The ball is shaped like a pomegranate. I don't know, like it looks like a peach. I don't know what it is. If it's not a ball.
You know what it looked like to me? It looked like one of those like sewing tomatoes, just plushier.
Like a pincushion, yeah. And they let this kid go unsupervised into the woods by himself. I'll circle back to that dumbness in a minute, but and then he's assaulted by Krampus, and then we go back in time. And we find out that the Saxons rule that land, but the Vikings are going to come take it all.
Vikings, today we claim a new victory. By the gods, we will take what is rightfully ours. We will take no prisoners.
And with the might of the Vikings and just how weak these Saxons are, it's shocking that they hadn't done it sooner.
Yeah,
they put up no fight. It's like there's 5 people in the castle and they don't stand a chance.
We must go now. The Vikings are coming. They know we stand weak alone in the castle. We must go now. They want to rule the castle.
It's like I'm honestly surprised that these guys even brought swords. To be honest, like, all you had to do is just go knock knock. Who's there? Us. We're taking over. That's all they needed to do.
They could have negotiated this castle away from them, because basically these people, it's their kingdom. They're in a castle. Like they have stone walls around them, and when they're like, oh damn, the Vikings are coming. Their first thought is, well, we got to get the hell out of here and run away. So they leave the castle and run through the safety of the woods.
We must take flight into the woods, find shelter, lick our wounds, and plan a return when we are stronger.
Which doesn't work out so hot for them.
Greetings, King. You are not welcome here, you animal!
Yeah, at this point they're presented by the leader. I believe his name is Ube, which it's great. It's great when you're assaulted by an Asian vegetable. But which is so jarring, because he's the head of he was the head of the Vikings, whose daughter was whose daughter was assaulted in the last film. It's like, oh god, this is so
his daughter wasn't assaulted in the last film. His second.
Oh, that's right. It was
daughter. But the same family structure in this film. This guy, the bad guy, in this movie is the good guy from the last movie, but his wife in this movie is his wife from the other movie, The Witch. Now she's a bad Viking, and his daughter is the same daughter. She's just not as good with her sword as she was in the last movie. It's literally the same. It's the same exact family. And his the second in command guy is a Saxon in this movie. So don't forget he's a Saxon. It's the same cast. So they catch up. The Vikings catch the Saxons. They kill all the minor people. And they stab Rollo and his wife like at more times than Jenna Ortega gets stabbed in the opening scene of Scream 5. And with a sword, and they don't die.
Yeah, and like granted, Rollo is like we're supposed to follow him. Like he's our narrator essentially, and so we're seeing him bleed to death, and all of a sudden he's in the care of these two witches.
One of them's Louisa Warren, and the other
one of them is Louisa Warren,
another lady.
Do you see that?
Again, their idea is like he's like, oh, my kingdom, and they're like, hey, we can summon a demon.
We could find you help, summon for you the help you need to reign again.
And here's like this is like one of the greatest like bits of comedy you're gonna get in one of these, because they have like this great like weird sitcom banter, that just shitty banter where it's like, oh come on, we're not doing that. I think we're doing it. No, we're not doing that. No, we're doing it, and somehow they just do it anyways.
We might.
Sister, no. Do not speak such words.
What is it you speak of?
No, it's nothing. It's just words of hope, not realism.
And the weird thing about Krampus is, so you summon him, and he's going to take a price from you once he's done with the job, but you also have to kill someone to summon him. So these two random ladies in the woods, like, hey, one of us can die. Yeah, one of us will just die so you could get your castle back. What great citizens they are. They're great subjects of the king. They'd sacrifice their lives so that he could also have a sacrifice down the road. What a great logical choice.
To summon him, but to spell one of us.
Sister, I will allow.
No, please. Please, I can't lose you, please.
And they're such great sisters to each other, because one like stops the other from killing herself, and then she just kills herself.
I will not let you be the one.
In the process, and she's just mourning, like, oh, my sister, should have been me. It's like, no, it shouldn't have been either of you, if you want to be technical, because, had this guy not like given up his castle for a knock-knock joke, you would still have to have a sister alive.
Yeah, couldn't they have just put like two? There's only like half dozen Vikings. Put two archers on top of the wall. Problem solved. They're not even wearing. Two archers could have solved this movie, but I digress.
Like you don't even need an archer. Just like a giant tub of like hot scalding water.
Yeah, dump water on them. Close the gate and dump water on them. So anyway, I'm gonna gloss over it. Krampus comes, but they make the mistake because like they're like, oh, kill everybody in the castle, but the Vikings have taken hostages, and some of the hostages are Saxons. So now Krampus is like, well, I'm going to take your request literally, and I'm going to willy-nilly kill everyone in the castle, even though, like every single one of these movies, there's a time limit. And he kills as many people as he can.
It's only one day on Yule Day.
Yeah. So he kills almost everybody.
Do not underestimate the strength of fear. Let me go! Be gone!
let's skip ahead to the real huge issue of this movie. So they say in 10 years' time, Krampus will return on Yule Day, and he will take his payment, right? In the interim, in those 10 years, Sylvia and Rolo have a son. So they have their daughter, and they have a son. Now, apparently they don't have a calendar because on the day that Krampus is set to return, the beginning of the movie happens again. The kid that got killed is their son. So they send this kid out unsupervised into the forest where we know who Krampus is on the day Krampus is going to return. You deserve what you fucking get then.
Can I go play now?
Happy Yule Day, my son.
This movie is also structured so poorly because they tell you the end of the movie at the beginning of the movie, and it's not like it's some weird like Memento twist where it's like, oh shit. It's like, it's very clear that what happens at the beginning of the movie is the shit they're talking about the entire movie. So at the end of the movie, when they just replay the beginning of the movie, you're like, who storyboarded this shit? And of course the movie just ends. The kid gets killed the second time and the movie just ends.
No. He has taken my child. My child.
That was the price he deemed equal to that of the castle.
He has taken my child. My child.
Please don't let us get another one of these films.
We haven't yet. So that's good. There are other Krampus ITN films, but I don't think they're related. I hope they're not related. And I know Louisa Warren didn't direct them, so we're not going to be watching them anytime soon.
Thank God.
Well, final thoughts on Pagan Warrior, Vikings versus Krampus.
Again, ITN, the word is no. N-O. Memorize it. You can say no to some of these dumb fucking ideas at your desk. In terms of Pagan Warrior, Krampus, Vikings versus Krampus, whatever the fuck you want to call it, two titles do not make a good movie.
What's your rating on this one?
I believe I went 1.5 on this one because it didn't offend me. I almost went 2, but I'm just like, wait, this movie still sucks. Like, hard. This wasn't even okay. They didn't do anything with their budget. Like, they didn't do any sound editing. They didn't do anything that actually put forth an effort. At least with Scarecrow's Revenge, they put forth an effort, but clearly they didn't have everything in the budget. They just rented the goddamn costumes and location.
Yeah, I'm at a 1 only because, and this one videotape out of 5 is solely because the sword fights they put on are of equal quality as the sword fights I had with my brother when I was in elementary school. That being said, we have a drink for you. It's in the description. If you want to watch this movie, make that drink for yourself. The drinking game is also in the description. If you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. The Facebook group is Why We Love Horror. The TikTok is WWL Horror. And hey, go to this website. You can vote for me to be the face of horror this year. I'd appreciate your votes. That being said, schedule is always the same. Monday is Versus. Tuesday is Horror Headlines. Wednesday is special editions of Why We Love Horror or Why We Love Horror Trivia. Thursday is Why We Love Horror. This week we're doing the front room. And Friday, Why We Love Horror Trivia. So thanks for stopping by. I am John Maher, and that is Will Cohen. And we'll see you next week on Versus for another Louisa Warren fantastic film.